Hi, Steve here. Swatting is a term you might not have heard before, but if you haven't, let me fill you in. It's a prank where someone calls the police claiming an emergency or a mass murder is taking place at a specific location with the goal of getting a massive police response, including SWAT teams, to show up at that location. The idea behind it is often to get a reaction from the person being targeted, but as we'll see, it can have much more serious implications.
Chase, are you inside? Can you acknowledge? Or Chase, can you step out with your hands up?
No. Contact team? Travis County Sheriff's Office! Step out of your house now with your hands up!
A wave of swatting calls has hit hard lately. Fake emergencies sending SWAT teams crashing into homes, especially targeting right-wing voices in alternative media, schools, politicians, and streamers too. Hundreds of hoax 911 calls, spoofed numbers, voices faked with tech. Where are they coming from? Do we know who's pulling the strings? Here's a question. What if the system itself is our Achilles heel? Ericsson, a Swedish telecom giant, powers our emergency service. They may not answer 911 calls, but their networks and gear route them. These are our most vital links in a crisis. With swatting exploding, could their tech be a backdoor? A way for bad actors, even foreign governments, to weaponize our own system against us? Ericsson's past raises red flags. They shelled out over $1 billion to settle U.S. bribery charges, years of dirty deals across at least 5 separate countries. In Iraq, payments brushed up against officials in ISIS-controlled zones, then shrugged off as business as usual. If they'll play loose overseas, what's stopping exploitation here? Sweden, their home base, adds doubt. Neutral for centuries, only recently joining NATO on March 7, 2024, in the wake of the war in Ukraine. If push comes to shove, where do their loyalties lie? So how important is Ericsson to our military and defense? Well, more than 50% of the world's 5G traffic runs on Ericsson networks. And over 50% of DoD 5G deployments include Ericsson equipment. So, are they trustworthy? Since August 4th of 2022, Ericsson has been caught up in a civil lawsuit filed by over 900 Gold Star families, accusing the company of funding terrorist organizations, including ISIS, in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria from 2004 to 2021. The plaintiffs allege Ericsson's payments to these groups, made to maintain operations in conflict zones, directly supported attacks that resulted in deaths and injuries of U.S. service members and civilians, including high-profile victims like journalist James Foley and aid worker Kayla Mueller. There is a growing need to secure our emergency communications against the influence of foreign actors. With scandals such as these, and a homeland moving against our national agenda, we should not trust Ericsson with our vital emergency communications. When the line rings, who's really listening? On January 27, 2025, Michael Ray Corey testified before the Arizona State Senate on this exact issue regarding 911 and Ericsson.
Ericsson is completely entrenched in our telecommunications networks and infrastructure. They control our 911 emergency services portability contract. They work with local law enforcement officials and the FBI to provide access to our phone conversations in real time. The fact that they are a foreign corporation means there is no oversight. Because they are a private institution, they are exempt from the Freedom of Information Act, which does not apply to them. They handle their own cloud data infrastructure, which is similar to Amazon Web Services, and along with their endpoint security, which is essentially all included in-house through Ericsson's what they call Ericsson Management System, or EMS. The fact that Ericsson holds so much power over our country's network infrastructure and other contracts should be absolutely alarming. If Ericsson were to get hacked, that would make the hack an internal issue that our government can do absolutely nothing about. If they were willing to fund and sponsor ISIS and then not only plead guilty but pay a criminal penalty of a federal penalty of $1 billion and then $325 million further criminal penalty, essentially the question would be what else would they be willing to do? Because the period of time in which they were sponsoring ISIS was over 17 years. So the question of do they have to abide by the United States Constitution? They do not.
There are risks involved with swatting that go beyond just the so-called prank itself. The police response can put the person being targeted as well as innocent bystanders in harm's way. Imagine being in your home going about your daily routine when suddenly you're surrounded by armed police officers not knowing what's going on or why they're there. It's a terrifying experience that can leave you long-lasting trauma. Plus, swatting can tie up valuable police resources, taking them away from real emergencies where they're desperately needed. Swatting is a criminal offense, punishable by law. If you're caught, those responsible can face serious charges, including felony counts and even prison time. It's not just a prank, it's a serious crime that can have long-term consequences. Not to mention, the financial costs of a swatting incident can be substantial, with police departments often left to foot the bill for the wasted resources. In addition, swatting can also lead to further destabilization of communities as trust in law enforcement is eroded and tensions are heightened. It's a reckless and irresponsible act that can have far-reaching consequences, and it's time that we take a closer look at just how dangerous it can be. One of the most high-profile cases of swatting occurred in 2017 when a prank caller in California claimed a hostage situation was unfolding at a house in Kansas. The responding police officer shot and killed an innocent man, Andrew Finch, who was simply opening the door to his home. The incident was met with outrage and shock, and it highlighted just how dangerous swatting can be when it goes wrong. And now it's being used by the lawless left in this country to harass and intimidate and cause great fear to the people who they swat. In another shocking incident, a popular gamer, Tyler Barris, was sentenced to 20 years in prison for making a swatting call that led to the death of an innocent man. The call was made as part of a dispute over a video game, but it ended in tragedy. These cases show us that swatting is no laughing matter. It's a serious issue that can have deadly consequences. The swatting phenomenon has also highlighted the dark side of online culture, where anonymity can give people a sense of invincibility, leading them to engage in reckless and harmful behavior. It's a wake-up call for all of us to take responsibility for our actions online and to think about the real-life consequences of our actions. A particularly harrowing case of swatting unfolded in 2019 when a 15-year-old boy in Florida called in a fake bomb threat to his own school. The response was immediate, with police and bomb squads rushing to the scene. But what was meant to be a prank had devastating consequences. The boy was arrested, charged, and eventually convicted of making a false threat. His life will be forever changed, and now he has a criminal record. The fallout from the incident didn't stop there. The school was forced to rethink its security protocols, and the community was left shaken. It's a stark reminder that swatting is not just a harmless prank, but a serious crime that can have lasting impacts. The events that unfolded in this case are a prime example of why swatting is so dangerous. It's not just a prank, it's a threat to public safety. Individually and as a community, it's a threat to the lives of those who are targeted. Before the technology we have today, this was not possible. For someone to call up the police maybe thousands of miles, maybe not even in the same country, and then to make up a lie, a complete fabrication and deception in order to get the police to respond to a fake emergency, this is domestic terrorism. And now it's being used to harass anybody, politician or well-known celebrity who promotes or endorses or has no problem with this kind of behavior is simply a tool of Satan. This is done for the purpose of harassing, intimidating, and sometimes getting an overreaction which could get a person killed, not to mention a police officer. Swatting can be a deadly prank that can have serious consequences, from harm to innocent people to legal ramifications for those responsible. It's time we take a step back and reevaluate the role we play in perpetuating this dangerous behavior. Let's work together to help others realize what swatting really is. It's a harmful and reckless act, and now a tactic of the lawless to harass or get someone killed. This has no place in our society. Thanks for watching. And remember, I leave a link in the description box below if you would like to know Jesus. There's nothing more important in this whole world than you having a personal relationship with God's only Son. Think about it.